I am so excited that we are entering year 2 of the support from the fireworks community team. I am so excited to have them hosting us today. They're a creative co-working space focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. Get a free day pass. When you book with them, you have to use code DRIVE, or if you go to see them in person to visit their beautiful space and meet their awesome staff, tell them Logan from Your Morning Drive sent you, and you'll get a free day pass to try the space yourself. Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia.
Your Morning Drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Morning Drive. I am Logan, your host with the most, coming to you from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. I am so glad you tuned in to the show today. Before we dive in, I have a couple of quick requests. First off, please hit that follow or subscribe button on your favorite platform. This way, you'll never miss an episode and new ones will come straight to you every week. Second, share this episode with just one friend who could use a little inspiration to start their day. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you enjoy a visual experience, we're also on YouTube as well. So don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and thumb it up on Spotify and YouTube as well. It helps us grow and reach more people. For even more content updates, behind the scenes, fun, and all of those things in between, follow on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. There you'll find episode announcements, behind the scenes stuff, clips from the episodes, and everything else to keep you entertained throughout the week. My guest today is a professional marketer and writer passionate about helping small businesses craft compelling brand narratives and leverage local search strategies. A Kennesaw State University English graduate, she transitioned from administration to freelance work during the 2009 economic downturn, eventually co-founding Atlanta SEO Pro 18, where she supported local businesses like Reformation Brewery. After leaving the company in 2020, she expanded her expertise through agency roles and grew her client base in Cherokee County. Now she's a full-time fractional marketing strategist. She collaborates with businesses across North Metro Atlanta while residing in Woodstock, Georgia with her family, staying deeply connected to her community. Please welcome my new friend, Ashley. Hello.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm super honestly honored because I feel like I see you everywhere and this is really cool for me. So I feel like you're iconic. I feel like it's safe to say that you're iconic in at least especially in the Cherokee groups and all of those places. I feel like your name is everywhere. So thank you for being here.
That's by design.
Yeah? You did that on purpose? Of course you did. You're a marketing person. So, who are you, Ashley? Tell me who you are. I mean, very impressive bio that I read off there that you sent me, but of course, like, who are you really? Behind all of that, who is Ashley?
Behind all of that. Well, I fell into marketing purely by accident because I went to KSU and graduated in 2006 and was a writer and graduated as an English major and wanted to be a writer. At that time, I thought that I wanted to be, the Carrie Bradshaw of the South. Not necessarily the content, but just, having a column. But there's not a whole lot of magazines down here. I didn't want to move to New York, despite, it being a lovely city. Actually, my first job was I was an admin assistant at a commercial real estate firm in Buckhead. Just kind of connections allowed me to get there. And it was a really great first job. They were very good to me, that team, and just kind of allowed me to get my footing in just in an office atmosphere. And then, unfortunately, 2009, commercial real estate, it was like, big hotels and resorts and stuff. And those were not selling, along with all of the other real estate that was not selling. So I found myself, looking for a new job. And honestly, that's when my kind of entrepreneurship twinge bug, whatever you want to call it, kicked in. I made my first WordPress website completely from scratch. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had time in the world to do it. And I thought, okay, well, one of my jobs in college was an admin to a literary, to a writer. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to create a business where I'm an admin assistant for other writers, which was a great concept in theory.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford to pay me because they're
writers.
They're right.
Yeah.
So I started that, and I kind of bounced around a little bit. In 2010, I had my first son. So I stayed home, but still had, kind of freelance clients, still kind of was trying to figure my way. I really have kind of bounced around a lot. One of those things was selling pure romance. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm not. Educate me.
It's ladies' home parties with bedroom accessories.
By bedroom accessories, we're thinking about the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, understood.
Turns out I was really bad at that.
You were just selling that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh my. What was that like?
It was weird because you try to convince somebody else that they need a $150 gadget for their bedroom. I couldn't do that.
Oh, wow. We could do its own episode on that in and of itself. But to summarize, it was weird and hard. No puns intended.
Right.
Stupid.
Just, I thought, hey, it was hard selling.
Yeah.
Another pun. So I thought, no, this isn't for me. And so I was doing more kind of, odd freelance jobs, like some transcription things.
Sure.
And then finally, in January of 2012, a friend that I had made, my former business partner, reached out and said, I've been following your blog for a really long time. Because I had been blogging. It was more of just like a personal live journal, really. You're a really good writer. And we're looking to build this agency. At that time, it was a sister organization to a roundabout local media in Cherokee County. And we're looking for people to help grow the team on the digital side. You're a really great writer, and I can teach you everything else. And at that time, I had literally just gotten my acceptance letter from KSU's Master of Arts in Professional Writing program. And I thought, oh my gosh, do I go back to school and get a degree and go into debt for said degree? Or do I start working and jump into this digital marketing, face first? And I ultimately decided to jump into the digital marketing face first, and haven't really looked back.
Yeah.
Once I figured out, writing for other people is so much fun. Learning the branding, learning the voice, learning how to craft stories in there for them was really fun. And then not just that, the SEO side of things is like a puzzle for me. So figuring out how to crack that puzzle in, 60 characters or 160 characters, and then connecting with people and the psychology behind marketing. And I swear, if I could go back and get another undergrad degree, I would get psychology, because there's so much of that, like, in marketing. So I started there, and I quickly, kind of moved into middle management, and I was starting to train new marketing team, the team that we had as we were growing. I got pregnant again, and I had a second kid. And then when I came back from my maternity leave, it really wasn't a great fit anymore. I needed more for two small children.
Sure.
And so I transitioned into working for this other company now they're called Artivion, but at that time they were called CryoLife. It's cardiac tissue and vascular tissue, and then lots of other devices, so cardiac devices, and it was fascinating. And so I kind of fell first into this world, into what they need, and for the first year and a half I was there, I was in dot control. So it was all making sure that we're FDA compliant, that everything is compliant. And then finally, after a year and some change, I got to transfer into the marketing department. So that was great too, because then my role switched to the patient stories. Oh, I loved telling the patient stories. And I got to travel to interview patients. We had a really, really great small team where we would interview the patients, and we would talk about their lives before they had the surgery. And then we would talk about their lives after they had the surgery. And I'm still friends with some of these patients. And that was 2016. And I'm still friends with some of those patients. And that was a really wonderful opportunity. After that, I went on to work for, software development firm in Alpharetta, was there for a little bit. And then I went back into the healthcare world and worked for an OBGYN office in Cherokee County. More of that kind of healthcare marketing. And then 2018, my former business partner, James Ball, had come to me and said, I want to have another marketing agency that is tailored towards small businesses, and this time I want you to be my business partner. Do you want in? And I was like, yes, I do. So we built it slowly. I was still working full time at my other job, but we built it slowly to the point where I felt like I could leave, and then go and pursue this. And then really 2018 was when everything kind of, in Cherokee County, I suppose, so to speak, was when I just kind of burst onto the scene, for lack of a better word, because I was business development. I had started to get involved in young professionals in Woodstock at that time. And so I started to get as involved as I possibly could in, YPOW and in Woodstock, and going to networking groups at Reformation.
Sure.
Everywhere else. I was like, I'm going to be seen.
You're going to be everywhere.
I'm going to be everywhere. And so that's what I did. Gosh, it was such a wonderful 2.5 years. I mean, we grew the team. We had some amazing account managers working for us. And I got the opportunity to lead a class at Reinhardt during that time. It was like an intro to marketing class. My very good friend, Chip Campbell, was a professor there at the time. And he said, come in and talk to my students about experiential marketing. And so we talked to them all about digital marketing and SEO and building a brand. And so I got to be a professor for a semester, and that was really, really, really cool. And then, 2020 and COVID, and those first couple of weeks, we had clients canceling and panicking, and we were also panicking. We were trying to figure out, how do we make this work? How do we make this work? How do we support, these people who desperately need it? So many small businesses at that time had no idea if they were going to be able to keep going. So ultimately, it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, but I decided to walk away from Atlanta SEO Pro, and really mourned that. Didn't realize that I was, mourning it, but it felt like one of the worst breakups I've ever.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just, pouring so much time and energy into this thing for so long. And then it took a while for me to kind of find my own way. I was scared. I had people telling me, Ashley, you can go out and do this on your own. You can. You have, all of these people who support you. And 2020 just was too, all the other things. It was just too much. I couldn't do it.
Sure.
So I worked for a couple of other agencies from 2020, honestly, 2022. I was kind of working contract positions. I made things work. I was still doing a lot of networking. And that worked for a while until, January of 23. And I thought, I don't want to keep doing this. I have enough of a client base that I need to just
jump.
Leap. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I did. And then, more clients started to come. And then even more clients started to come. And so now I feel like, starting January 2025, I've hired an assistant.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She's a marketing student at KSU too. So hooty hoo. And so I really feel awesome about that kind of coming around.
Sure. Full circle.
Yeah. So she's only been working with me for a couple of weeks, but it feels really great to be able to, help her as she's helping me. And so I've already given her a couple of book recommendations and hey, building a story brand. Absolutely recommend it. And, some of these other things too. And I've been a participant in, some of the co-ed programs recently. I was part of the Hatchbridge incubator that co-ed does. Actually, tomorrow I start with it's like a full Hatchbridge program that goes the entire semester. So I'm so excited.
Incredible.
To be part of.
That's so cool. Congrats on that.
Thank you. With probably some other people that you've had in here.
Maybe.
But a lot of the same folks that have done that initial step with the co-ed and Hatchbridge program. And then, I've gotten involved with, the ACE, Aspiring Community Entrepreneur Program out of the Coles College. And then also my husband and I have been going to some of the programming at the Family Enterprise Center with Sarah Davis and, Sarah Davis and what are the wonderful folks' names there? It's escaping me. But Family Enterprise Center, my husband and my sister-in-law own Three Brothers Painting. And so I've been...
Really? Okay, fun. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah. And so
connection made.
Being on the marketing side, for the last 15 years. So it's me. I'm their marketing.
Yeah.
And, but so they also, they've gotten super involved with the Family Enterprise Center.
Sure.
And being family owned and operated. And so that for me is kind of why I feel so strongly about working for small businesses and solopreneurs, because I know how hard it is to do the marketing while you're also doing everything else. And most people just can't do it. They know that they need to be working on their, Google business profile, and they know they need to be creating social media content and blogging and tracking analytics, but they don't even know how to get their analytics.
Right.
They
don't even know how to spell analytics. Sometimes I struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like A-N.
Yeah.
A L.
Yeah, Y. There's a Y in there. Yeah.
So really I just kind of went, full circle in many respects. And now I'm looking ahead into 2025 and I'm just really excited about some of the opportunities that I have. And KSU does feel, I still have this strong pull to the university, and, I'm trying to get as involved as I can there and stay involved. So
another one of our sponsors today is Jessica Surovchek Photography. Jessica Surovchek Photography offers personalized portrait sessions that bring out the best in every moment. Whether you need family portraits, senior pictures, or photos for your engagement announcements, Jessica combines creativity and expertise to deliver breathtaking images you'll treasure forever. She provides tailored sessions to fit your needs, high-quality images with attention to detail, and fun, friendly, professional service. Capture life's most special moments with Jessica Surovchek Photography. Book your session today. I love sitting with people, Ashley, and thinking about all the different ways that sitting with the person is so cool, because we have so much in common. I also am trying to get in tune with the university more, because I also went to KSU, of course, hooty hoo. Fun fact for you, I also this morning, recording your episode this morning, I interviewed the woman who she claims that she wasn't alone and she had a bunch of other people with her, but she made the term hooty hoo for KSU. She was the person. She says she wasn't the person, but she was in the group of people that did the whole I thing, and she was in that group of people that started that. So that's real fun, full circle day. In fact, everybody I talked to today, I think, went to KSU, which is super fun. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm so happy that we're having this podcast. First of all, today is a first on many fronts.
Yeah.
First of all, you are one of the first, if not the first person who's ever asked me if you can be on my show. When I messaged you that day to ask you to be on it, you said I was going to actually contact you about doing your podcast. Nobody's ever asked me if they could do it. I've always been, everyone, please don't be terrified. Hey, people, if you're trying to find out if you can, don't be terrified. But so that's a huge honor. So thank you for that. That is so sweet for you to reach out and ask me if you could do my show. What an honor. It's also the first time I've ever had an established marketer on the show. I've had people that want to do it, part-time here, part-time there, try to build this, but someone who's established. Because for a long time, actually, I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to have other marketers on the show because ultimately the thing that you're passionate about is telling people stories. Yep. I'm passionate about telling people stories. That's why I do this. And for the longest time, I was like, I can't have other marketers on there because what if someone listening is like, well, Ashley sounds like she's far more established than Logan is. And that might be true. And that is true. But ultimately, I came to the conclusion, and I came to this conclusion by talking to another marketer. And he said, dude, there's enough food for all of us to eat. And we can learn as marketers so much from one another. Mm-hmm. Because marketing is one of those fantastic fields that's changing every single day, not even as like it's not even like a joke. Like it changes every single day. One day an app is available on the App Store, the next day it's not. And then it's back. And then is it back? But we don't know. I mean, by the time this comes out, we might have a clear picture of what that looks like, but we don't know. And that's exciting. And finding the next big app, the next thing is so exciting. And so I'm just excited that we're here. So this is really fun. In fact, I just wrote down Building a Story Brand because I have not read that book. And I'm going through a huge 2025 reading revolution. And I want to read so many books this year. I'm already on track to do so many. And this is going to be the next one I get because I need to get this one.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I've heard this book mentioned before, and apparently there's a 2.0 version of it out now. Yeah. And I will definitely be snagging this 2.0 version. I'm looking at it right now. It looks very nice.
It's an easy read. And I just mean that it's Donald Miller has laid it out in such a way that it's easy to follow. And, each section each chapter has a section where it's go, do this, work on this piece on your own, kind of see, what this looks like for you and for your company. And, without spoiling it for you, that one of the big messages is you are the guide. Your brand is the guide. You are not the hero. You are Yoda helping Luke. So if you think about your brand as Yoda helping Luke, or your Gandalf helping, any of those geeky ones,
sure,
references,
I'll take them all.
You are the helper and helping them solve their problem. If you make it about you, the authenticity is not there. The connection is not going to come as naturally as you positioning them or you positioning yourself as the guide. So I love that. I love that messaging so much. And there's so many other great nuggets in there. So I'm excited for you to read it.
I can't wait to read it now. I'm even more amped. I might have to buy it right now. Pause while I get my credit card out. No. One thing I'm just curious about, so you've been in the industry for, like you said, 15 years or so. Plus or minus. What's it like seeing it change so much, especially in the last, I'd say 5 to 10 year span, but just overall, how it's changed so much. Mm-hmm. What's that been like, just seeing it evolve?
I think one of the great things about marketing is that I expect it to evolve. Certainly those first couple of years, it was you can write a 500-word blog post and you could post ridiculous things on Facebook and it would actually work. Whereas, the last 5, even 10 years, 7 years, it doesn't work anymore. And so my brain at this point is just used to, okay, well, that's not working. That's not working. What's going to work? Again, which platforms are going to be best for all of my clients? I don't have an intro client meeting and say, you need to be on Facebook or you need to be on LinkedIn. My big thing is who is your audience and where are they? So we go that route as opposed to, well, you have to be on TikTok because everybody's on TikTok. I'm on it, but I'm not.
I'm with you. I'm the same.
Maybe that's because I'm an elder millennial and I don't understand it or whatever.
Well, I am a younger millennial slash like right on the cusp of being a Gen Zer.
Yeah.
And when people are like, do you offer TikTok? I'm like, not really, because I don't like it. I love it for the mindless entertainment that it provides, but I don't see, at least at this point in time, I don't see it as a great marketing tool, because I think a lot of people go to TikTok for entertainment. They're not shopping for services on TikTok, mostly.
Right. And so I think that there is an argument there. Like there's a lot of brands that do really well on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, my target audience it is on TikTok. I find that for me, it's Instagram and it's LinkedIn. And those are pretty much the two platforms that I play the most on. And then Facebook when people need to see pictures of my kids and my dogs. Sorry. Now I have two, and I need to.
Yeah, sure.
Plural. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think that I actually thrive with the kind of chaos that is the marketing field, because it changes all the time. And my kind of neurospicy brain needs that. So it works for me, just the change and being a strategist and being able to work with so many different brands. That's also, I love that. I've got attorneys, I've got home services, I've got real estate, I've got, and I've worked with Reformation, which shout out, they were one of my favorite clients ever to work with. Surprise. But, just so many different brands, restaurants and salons, and, each of them had a different need. And I love being able to, like I said, work out that puzzle and figure out how to help them. And when they call or they email and they say, Ashley, we're seeing a difference in our analytics, or we're seeing a rise in our Facebook engagement, and it feels so great.
Yeah.
But I love being able to help them with those wins.
Well, that's what's beautiful about it, is that, like you said, everybody's got a different piece of the puzzle missing.
Right.
And like some brands, like you go to their Instagrams, and their photography is brilliant, and their captions are awesome, and their marketing is just incredible. But then you go over to like maybe their SEO or their Google page, and it's just nothing's there. And you're like, how do you have this amazing, it's because they're pouring all their money and resources into the Instagram, which is a great, right, but they're not paying attention to another. And it's like, okay, well, I can help you there. But that, or on the vice versa, someone's SEO is through the roof, but then you go to their Facebook page and there's nothing. We've all seen it. It's like their logo is like a yard sign of their business, and their header thing is just like a picture of their dog. And you're like, buddy, you have amazing search results, but when people are actually going to you, they're like, this is it?
Yeah.
It's like, but that's what's brilliant, is that everybody's got a missing piece to the pie, and it's not always the same.
Right. Yeah.
And like you said, it's a really good thing, because I worked at an agency that would regardless just offer Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, clean, like no ifs, ands, or buts. And it's not everybody needs it all.
Right.
Because there are some clients that you would argue maybe Facebook and Instagram, you don't need it all. And LinkedIn is the only place they need to be. It's finding that. And they're always so surprised to hear that. Really? No Facebook? No Instagram? No. Your customers aren't on Facebook looking for you.
Right.
They're looking for you on LinkedIn, on Indeed, on somewhere else. And it's so fascinating to see their light bulb go off and go, oh my God, I've been paying for these ads, and no. So fun.
Yeah.
God.
And I'll admit, for a long time, I was the cobbler's kid who had no shoes type of marketer, where, I was doing for so many other people that I was like, oh, don't look at my Facebook page.
Ashley, I struggle with this today. I so struggle. It's so funny. Like someone the other day was just like, you should like really amp up like your company's Instagram or Facebook page. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
With what time?
But also like, what am I putting on there?
Yeah.
That's not the same old, here's 5 ways to increase your... You've seen that rinse and recycled so many times. I might as well just upload photos of my wife and my, our life, and just hey, like if you want to work with me and you think that we look like fun people, click the link and work with us. But otherwise, it's like it feels forced. And I hate things feeling forced.
Yeah, that
Don't like forced.
too.
Forced content, you can see it from a mile away. You see the caption and you're like, they pumped that out because they had to,
Yeah.
not because they wanted to. It's not genuine.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
And bad marketing is everywhere. And I don't want to be offering it to people, but then they head to my page and they see bad marketing and they're like, what?
Yep.
It doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Where's the disconnect? Because it's forced.
Yeah.
And I hate when it's forced.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
And I think too, as I got more comfortable with the idea of, being on my own and not really needing to align with an agency, really just doing this on my own, I had kind of a, as silly as it sounds, like a personal renaissance of sorts too. A year and a half ago, I decided to put just a little bit of green in my hair. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna little bit just to kind of see what this looks like, because I've been dyeing my hair red for a decade. Like I was the red. It was, that was actually signature color. And I thought, if I go the other way and I kind of just put a little bit of green in there, and then I put a little bit more green in there, and then I went all the way up to the top of my head and it was green, and people were like, wow, your hair is really green. And I'm like, yeah, and I love it. And then I put blue in it. And so, it's just now I think I'm finally, yes, I turned 40 last year, but I'm finally really leaning into the weirdo 18-year-old again.
Really?
That I, kind of was a little too scared to be 100% all the way. Again, now my kids are my younger son is about to turn 11 in March, and my older son will be 15 this year, which is bonkers. But like I'm there's pluses and minuses to having kids super early. And mine now, I'm like, oh my gosh, 3.5 more years and he's an adult and he's out. And then
bye.
And he wants to go to KSU just like his mom. And I said, you can go to KSU. You don't have to go to KSU. You can do all sorts of stuff. But now we're having those conversations already, which again is so weird, but also so wonderful. And so I'm just kind of in this really great space where I feel like I'm kind of reinventing and embracing, all of these possibilities for my kids to, so.
Is it exciting going from, and I don't have kids yet, so I don't understand this, but okay. I can imagine that, when you're parenting all the way up until the point where they're going to college and doing that, you're just trying to get them to survive. And then when it gets to the point where you're finally getting to talk about adult things, it's got to be so much better. Where you're like, because I remember my relationship with my parents changed when I hit around that 15, 16, 17 mark.
Yeah.
And I still look at them today, like I consider my parents now more like my best friends than anything. Like they're there to offer the parental advice and, whatever. They'll be great grandparents when that day comes. But right now, they're just another one of the homies.
Yeah.
Like my friends love my parents. They're like, are your parents coming? Like my friends want to golf with my dad and me. Like they want my parents around. Yeah. Like my parents are just another couple that we hang out with. And that's a great place to be, because when I need them to be parents, they're parents. But otherwise, they're just friends. And getting to talk to them about this is fun. Last night, we talked about life insurance. And that's how you know you're an adult, is when you have talked to your parents about life insurance and you get to go to your dad, who's been in my ear for the last 2 years. You really need to think about starting to get life insurance. You're married now. You need to get some life insurance. You're going to have kids. You need to get life insurance. And I said, hey, Dad, guess what I signed up for last week? Life insurance. And he was like, let's go. And I was like, yes. But just getting to it. I just can't wait. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I've got a long time to go, but just can't wait for that.
Yeah. Like I said, young, I hardly remember when they were teeny tiny. I do, but it was just like, oh my God, we're getting another cold. Okay. We're norovirus again. Okay. But it just, it seemed, that adage where, the days are long, but the years are short. Yes, it's trite, but it's so true. And I blinked and my younger one is 11 almost. He's like, Mom, I'm not 11 yet. Stop saying that I'm 11. And I'm like, still 11. And so, but yeah, it's so great because, now we get to experience things with them and like you said, talk to them about,
Real things rather than cartoons.
right. Like, what do you want to do, with your life? Like, what kinds of things make you happy? What kinds of, my older son is amazing at math and science. And I'm like, dude, you could go to tech, you could go to KSU, you could do, like, there are all sorts of STEM things that you would be amazing. He's also brilliant with history. He's learning World War II right now at his school. And so he's all into, all of that. I'm like, yes, guns and bunkers.
Guns and war.
So, yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's always so interesting just getting everybody else's take on just everything, like parenting and marketing is another one of those things where it seems like everybody's got the answer, but there's not really one answer.
No.
It's not like math where there's a formula and this is how you do it and this is how you get the equal sign, your answer, circle it, you're done. Marketing is one of those, and parenting, from what I've heard from my parents, is the same way.
Oh, it's an A/B test all the time.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God. I saw a meme on Facebook that said, like, parenting is like when you're taking a test as a kid and all 4 of the multiple choice answers are all correct, but the question says, which one is the most correct? And you're like, oh God. And then you ask the teacher and they're just like, which one is it? And you're like, man.
Yeah.
That's what marketing is also, though, is like,
does my audience want the red cup or does my audience want the blue cup?
Your audience wants a cup, but which cup is it?
Sometimes it's the wrong answer.
Yeah. How do you, and I'm asking this both out of curiosity and just to try to learn, because this is a great learning conversation for me too. How do you convince people? Because I know there's a lot of people that when you're consulting with clients, there's a lot of people that think that you're going to send them an invoice to start. You're going to start your services, and then tomorrow they need to have results. How do you effectively communicate to people that, like, hey, working with me isn't going to be like a 2-week trial run. It's more like a 2-month trial run. Unfortunately, marketing is one of those things that you have to put some dollar amount and patience behind. How do you communicate that to people?
Well, one, most of my contracts are at least 6 months. Like, I really don't like doing shorter ones. And I tell them it's not because,
not to get a quick buck.
Right. It's because I want to make sure that I am delivering results for you. And it's particularly with SEO, which is one of my specialties. You really can't get results in under 6 months, unless your site literally has none. Then yeah, you're going to see a huge spike, but then it's going to level out because you had none and then you have some.
Right.
And so thankfully, most of the clients that I do work with, they have some understanding of, like, yes, we know that it's going to take some time. If they're pretty hard, stuck on, I need immediate results, it's really much easier for me to say, maybe we're not a good fit. Maybe try someone else, because I'm not going to tell you that you're going to get immediate results. That doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel genuine. I can't promise.
Right.
So, when we do Facebook campaigns or when we do Google ad campaigns, like, it is going to take time.
Sure.
This is what you can expect to see, but we're always going to tweak it. We're always going to monitor it. We're, A/B test it. And particularly, again, yes, with SEO, it's a long game. I always tell them it's not a sprint. It's a long game. And I'll use my husband's company as an example. I've been doing SEO for Three Brothers Painting since 2012. So they've got a pretty good organic long game. And I have told him and my sister-in-law, you guys could fire me tomorrow. Please don't. But you could fire me tomorrow and your SEO would be good, because we've put that much time and energy into it. Now, eventually would they probably dip? Yes. But because we've had so much time and energy and new content and new landing pages, like, we're giving Google all of that good stuff that they want, over that decade or more. I mean, yeah, they do really, really well with the organic search results. Whereas someone who, like I said, is switching to a brand new site, or, they have lots of blog posts, but, none of them are optimized or something like that. Like, yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to take, maybe we'll hit a milestone at 3 months, and then hopefully we'll hit another one at 6 months, but you're not going to hit much of anything at 30. But what we will do is look at where you started. We're always going to track, because I just feel very strongly like if you don't present them with the data and explain to them what they should expect and what they're actually seeing, that doesn't feel truthful to me. I mean, even if the data is bad, I'm going to present it and we're going to regroup. Yeah.
What about too, because I had a marketing consultation with someone actually a couple weeks ago, and they said, okay, so after the first year, I want to have this many followers, and I want us to hit that metric. And I said, and I was proud of myself for doing this, because normally as I'm trying to learn and grow, I'll be like, okay, but never like we'll get there or we won't get there, but like okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have goals. But now I think I said I can't wait to shoot for that with you. That sounds really fun. But I'll tell you what, if you go to I'm not thinking of any one person in particular, but if you go to a certain influencer's page and it says that they've got 350,000 followers, but then you go to their posts and they've got 70 comments and maybe 2,000 likes. It's like, listen, I would rather have 50 super engaged followers than 300,000. And they were like, I guess that makes sense. I was like, but because this person is in the food business. And I said, so what if those 50 people consistently referred you to their friends and family and themselves consistently bought from you, rather than you having 300 people that see your posts but never purchase anything? And she was like, and I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm not saying that I can't get you there, because I can certainly try, but I don't. And similar, talking to a mutual friend of ours, I know you've met Stone Payton, great dude. He told me when we had a podcast session together and we were talking about advice and all these things, and he said, no one cares about your downloads. No one cares. It's just a dumb number that people tried to hold as a standard for you reaching a certain level of fame in the podcast world. No one cares about your downloads or listens. But if you have people that are engaging with your content regularly, and if you have people that are reaching out that want to be a part of what you're doing, that's when you can figure out, okay, maybe people are listening or at least seeing me.
Right.
And he said, no one cares about all that stuff. He's like, I think they call them at Business Radio X, they call them dummy metrics, because no one cares.
Yeah.
I mean, the follower count, it looks cool when you jump onto a person's page and they've got, a local business and they've got 5,000 followers. Sure, that's awesome. But are those 5,000 followers doing anything for them?
Right.
It's just a number.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, it's been that way for, 6-7 years. I mean, even, 2019, 2020, it was like business owners kept thinking that it was the follower count. And I'm like, guys, it's not about the follower count anymore. We're done with that. What it needs to be is engagement. It's engagement. It doesn't matter if you have 1,500 people who follow your restaurant business page. You're getting no likes. You're getting no comments. You're getting no engagement. That's what we need to be after. And yes, to your point, if you have 50 people who are more engaged rather than this big number of people who just scroll, they don't even see it because the algorithm isn't pushing your posts to them. I would much rather have the former rather than the latter.
Yeah.
And
it's one of those things it's just a very common misconception about is like, we just need follower. And do I look at my podcast page and think like, I'd love to have more followers on it?
Right.
Of course. But I would rather have the more engaged people than not.
Yeah.
If I have 10 followers on the page, but they're all commenting, they're all sharing to their stories, they're all saving them, all of that stuff, I'll take that 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Because then at least I know those 10 people are going to show up for me versus the 300,000.
Well, and I guess as a good example of that, so when I was at Atlanta SEO Pro, like many of the other agencies, we were playing with the Instagram bot, the follow unfollow bot. And so my Instagram account got up to 15,000 followers.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. I had a lot of junk.
Yeah.
A lot of junk.
It's a lot of spam.
It's a lot of spam. And at first I was like, wow, 15,000 people are following me and 15,000 people are seeing pictures of my dogs and my children. But after a while I thought, no, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel authentic. And so it was a very slow process. There's no way to have all of those people unfollow. You got to do it a little by little. And I whittled it back down to, a good core group, marketing people, women that I've met on, some of the writing retreats that I've done, local, Woodstock, Cherokee County, North Metro Atlanta.
Sure.
And so now it feels good. And so now when I get the engagement on a post, whether it's a specific marketing post or, it's a picture of my kids and my dogs, I know that it's genuine. And 100 times I would rather have that than just, pushing something out on the internet and having nobody interact.
I'm curious because another thing that a lot of people talk about now and debate is the need for a website. Where are you on that? Because people will say, oh, you don't need a website. You just need somewhere for people to be able to find your links. And that's where people have all those link trees and all those things. Where are you on we don't need a website. We don't need that.
I'd say you do.
I would say you do also. Yeah.
Platform is debatable. A lot of the ones that I work with, I'm hardcore WordPress, but I've worked with Wix. I've worked with Squarespace too. They're great. They have come a long way with their SEO tools and just their back end all encompassing tools.
Squarespace especially has come so
on Squarespace and Wix, but I do, all the sites that I work on with one of the web developers that I work with pretty extensively. It's all WordPress. But no, your website is the one piece or is one of the only pieces that if Meta blips tomorrow and that goes away, your website is still there.
Right.
They can't take that from you.
Your website needs to be your one-stop shop.
Right. And again, this is why I love SEO so much is, how are people finding your website? Like, what is it that you do? What do you sell? What do you offer? And what keywords are going to help people find you for what you do? So yes, big believer in the website, even if it's just, 3 or 4 pages to start. Home, about, services, contact. Fine.
Yeah. Easy.
But just something so that people can find you. Again, knock on the things. If Meta goes down or if LinkedIn goes down or something else happens, that's the key piece. And, again, the SEO can help bolster that. And then local SEO, like a Google business page is, absolutely one of the best things that a small business can do to help boost that local search and get people to go to the website.
I'm sure you can relate to this, but you'd be surprised. The people listening would be surprised on how many people swear they don't need a Google page. They're like, we don't need one of those.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
You know what happens when I go on vacation and I want to eat at something that's not a chain? I pull up Google and I search local restaurants near me, mom and pop shops near me. That is key to you sticking out amongst the competition. Because you can have the best food on the planet in downtown Marietta, but if you don't have that Google page, no one's going to find you.
Right. And the reviews.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people do. And this is why marketers come in handy. It's because people are like, you mean I got to upload things to this Google page too? You got to do all of that.
Yep.
And that's why we love marketing because, hey, you don't have time to do it, but we do.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you is how I have small time marketer here. I have 3 clients that I work with and I love them. They're amazing and they love me. I hope if you're listening to this. And I'm just now getting to the point where it's like, okay, I need to be more intentional with my time. And I don't know how people with 10 plus clients are doing this. I just now invested in a social media scheduler. I'm very proud of myself for that because I got Metricool because I'm a tightwad still and don't want to spend hundreds of dollars a month on like Hootsuite because I know that they're great, but it's also like insanely expensive.
Yeah.
And Metricool is affordable and it does all the things I need it to do. So I was like, screw it, let's try it. And it's been great so far. Love it. But the other day I was like, hey, I'm scared. And my wife was like, stop being scared.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. What you need to do. She's great for this. We all need someone that is like the halt the brakes kind of person.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how people do this that have like 10, 15, 20 clients. How do you do it? I assume you have more than 3, but less than 50.
Yes.
How do you do it?
Yes, I also use a social media scheduler.
Yeah.
And I have to force myself to block time. So typically I will do all of the social post scheduling in a block.
Okay.
Because if I don't, then I'm already doing all of the other things.
You've got the brain like I do of like, oh, look at that. And distraction.
I will admit that there are probably, and I am not lying, 50 open tabs in my Google Chrome. And then I have 3 or 4, 6, 7 tabs in my Safari as well, because I'm a Mac girl. And then I just bought an iPad. And so now I'm going to have my tablet and my iPad. And so, but I have to time block. And one of my good friends, Jennifer Richardson, she's an ADHD coach and she helps me so much. But she helps me figure out the time blocking. And okay, Ashley, she has this exercise where she's like, okay, big rocks. What are the big rocks? And then, putting in the little rocks after that. So big rocks are the social scheduling and the content creation. And then the little rocks are kind of, checking in on the Google Analytics and, tweaking some meta descriptions or something like that. So I have to make sure that those big rock tasks are taken care of, which again is the social scheduling. And then also I'm a workaholic, so I work every single day, but in little blocks.
Sure.
So it's little spurts. I'm definitely a morning person. So I will get in my big comfy chair and I will do 2 or 3 hours of just social scheduling, block it out. And then I'm like, okay, I can do things the rest of the day. But yeah, doing this for almost 15 years, it's like, I don't know how to not be on the
Yeah. If the internet went down tomorrow, I would have a serious issue.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do.
A stack of load-bearing books that I should read, but it would be.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. And that's the thing that I'm trying to do is like, because outside of this and outside of marketing, I have a full-time job.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out, and I also am somewhat newlywed, 2 years or so, and starting to explore the possibilities of expanding. And it's like, how do I do the podcast?
Yeah.
Because the podcast is my baby until I have a real baby. But then I also love the marketing stuff. But then I have this full-time job that I want to kill it at also in the meantime. Yeah. And it's like, and I also want to be intentional with my family and friends and my spouse. And it's like, how do I time block appropriately? And it's like, I guess it's just got to be a routine. Like I've gotten to the point now where Sunday is podcast day.
Awesome.
And that's where that's going to be. So now it's figuring out the rest. And so that's where I'm at in that journey right now. And it's hard.
It is.
It's very tough.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it. I've always had side clients. Since I left Trustworks in 2014, I've almost always had at least 1 or 2 freelance clients. So it was always, kind of fitting them in Saturday morning, Sunday morning,
sure,
while my kids are on their tablets or watching cartoons or whatever. And one of the things that I'm very guilty of is they're like, oh, hey, can we watch some episodes of Doctor Who together as a family because we're big Whovians? Or, can we watch something as a family movie, whatever? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm there with my laptop.
It's so hard.
Scheduling out social content.
And here I am, not as established and successful, but everywhere I go, even if it's to my parents' house, I have the urge to bring my laptop.
Oh, yeah.
And Catherine's like, do you have to bring that?
Sickness.
I'm like, I have a codependency on this thing.
Yeah.
And I am also an Apple nerd, so I love Apple to death. I just feel this codependency to my Apple. I know what it is. The other day I was like, we should get an iPad. And she was like, why? And I was like, why not? Especially these new iPad minis that are like blowing up. They're so cute. They could fit in my back pocket. And it's just a bigger screen, so I don't have to do everything on my freaking phone. But I don't have to have this. We'll get there. We'll convince her. She's the one that's like, stop. We don't need the tablet. I'm like, we do though. And I need the pencil that goes with it.
Yeah.
I'm not a drawer or an artist, but I want that pencil.
You might be.
I could be.
Yeah.
You never know. The untapped potential. You never know. Yeah, I love this. I love these marketing conversations because sometimes as a marketer, even though it's such a big community, do you ever feel so alone at the same time? It's so hard. And now I'm going to without your permission, use you as a person now that I'm gonna be like, Ashley, I just need to like vent, and you can use me for that as well, even though I probably won't understand to the level of stress that you've got going on. You feel alone sometimes.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? It's such a vast community of very supportive people around each other because of the whole like there's enough food for all of us to eat mentality. But I'm like, God, I can't think about this with anyone.
I think that it's marketers and it's also people with like that entrepreneurial drive where, there's side projects and you have so many things that you want to do.
So many.
And that entrepreneurial kind of creative spirit, as much as you want to build community with it, because I find that most people do, it's also incredibly lonely. And that was part of the reason I was just thinking about this. In 2019, little did I know, in 2019, I had started this thing called the human side of entrepreneurship. And the goal was to have a monthly meetup group where somebody came to talk to the group about entrepreneurship, to kind of break down those walls, those barriers about like, you're not alone. Everybody else is struggling with, oh, shit, how do I do this? Or, I need to hire someone, or I need to fire someone, or, just that, trying to bring community into it. And I got a couple really good months in until March of 2020.
Oh no, what happened there?
I don't know.
I was supposed to go to Disney World, and the next day, Disney was like, we're closing our campuses due to the ongoing coronavirus situation. I was like,
I know. So, but I think that, community, there's so many great community programs in Cherokee, and I know that there's some in Cobb too. Beyond that, I'm just out of the loop, but just to build that community. So I do think that there is kind of a weird marketing loneliness.
It is weird
Thing. Yeah.
It's one of those things that it shouldn't be lonely,
yeah.
But it feels that way because it's like, because some days you're just in it, you have writer's block of, you can't think of a good caption. Your tools aren't tooling for you. Nothing's jiving. And you're just like, God, I just want to talk to my wife about how I hate that this thing isn't working. But she's like, I'm a teacher. I have my own problems. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So then I just sit and sulk in sadness. And I'm like, what do I do? And then that's it.
And then maybe doom scroll and find some Lord of the Ring memes on.
Right. And then I find some reels that distract me that have Adam Sandler level, like just stupid humor, like someone farts. And I'm like, that's funny. And yeah, I just don't get it. But one thing that really attracted me towards you and just your whole thing, because it vibes well with my whole vibe of like telling people stories. I feel like there's not enough marketer, because at the end of the day, when you are helping somebody with marketing their business, you are helping them tell their story to everybody else. And that is not talked about enough. Like, I feel like that should be in more slogans out there, but it's not, thank God.
Right.
For us, I want to hear, do you think this passion of writing for yours kind of is what unites the two for you? Of like, I love telling people stories because I love to write and tell my own stories, but then I also like to take it a step further and help other people tell theirs. Talk to me about that.
Yes, for sure.
Yes to everything.
I do think that, being able to, one, discover that story. I was working with a family-owned company last year. They had a one-page website. It was so old. It was busted. And so sitting down with them and, putting on my little video recorder app on my phone, I was like, just talk. Just tell me about your company. I want to hear about all the people involved. I want to hear about what you guys do. Tell me why you're different. Tell me how you work together. It was a father and a son and an uncle and the mom and a couple of other family members as well. They've been in business for over 30 years. They serve North Metro Atlanta area. And I was like, I want to know all about that. And so hearing them tell me is really, really great because one, like I said, I recorded it. so I could play it back and go, how do I word this? How do I put this on their about page so that people connect with it? And I'm a huge Brene Brown fan. So just the connection in the words on the page, like how do I connect you with your audience so that they choose you over another company that doesn't have that story, that doesn't have that little piece of, I credit that to my grandfather was a writer for many, many years, and then he went into PR, but he always had, he had that writing gene, I guess. And my grandmother taught English and history, so I love that too. But so they both kind of were very inspirational in that for me, I think.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you your opinion about what I think, in my opinion, is the hardest part about, I don't want to say convincing, but getting to the point of agreeing with a company or an entrepreneur to work with them. In my opinion, the hardest part of the whole piece is just getting there to meet them. Because, you and I both, you far more than me, in Cherokee Connect is a perfect example. Get tagged probably multiple times a day. Oh, Ashley's great at this. Logan's great at this. Ashley's great at this. Ashley, you get Ashley. How do you, besides the, hey, my name is Ashley and I do this, I'd love to learn more about, how do you get from there to where you're sitting down in their restaurant with them, actually to the point where you're turning on your app on your phone and listening to them tell their story to you? How do you stand out? How are you different?
I credit a lot of that to the networking in Cherokee County. I'm just getting involved in all of the different groups and being kind of in their face.
Just a present.
Yeah, just present. Or, asking them questions, learning more about the curiosity is a huge piece. Asking them about your business. People love to talk about their own business. So I'll ask, well, how long have you been doing this? Or what do you love most about this? And what do you not like about this? Because if it's the marketing, I can help you.
Usually that's probably what they say.
If entrepreneurs, they go into business for themselves, usually, hopefully, because they're passionate about something. And more than likely, they're passionate about a couple parts of running their business, and they're not as passionate about some of the other things. I can tell you I have a CPA because math is not mine. So I don't do any of that. Just send in my numbers and I'm like, please and thank you. But yeah, the writing and the storytelling and learning how to help them in the best way, is like, if I can get in front of them and say, tell me why you love doing what you do. Usually it's I mean, I shouldn't say it's easy, but it is easier from there.
Sure.
And yeah, just the networking, and I have a couple of freebies on my site. That's kind of helping with my email list, and also not only networking, but I think volunteering. I'm hugely involved in some of the organizations in Cherokee too. I'm on the board for Woodstock Arts and in Woodstock and Limitless Disability Services.
Love that.
Yes.
Need to get Paige in here.
I know.
I've talked because I know that we've talked in the past about how I used to work at LGE. Yeah. And so I know Ashley and Wesley and all of the people that have come before them. And I have been bugging Paige for months, and we're
coming for you.
You need to tell her, Paige, that's it. And I've been telling Ashley to come in here too, but she just won't do it. She won't do it. Ashley, if you hear this, she won't get mad at me for saying it. She won't do it.
She's so lovely.
Isn't she though? Pisses me off because she'd be a great guest.
She would be a great guest.
But either way, that's awesome and that's something that I want to do more too. I went into 2025 thinking like, I want to, even me at my level, I'm feeling this overwhelming urge to just do more for others. And I came to that conclusion and I was like, I just want to do more for more people. I'm not even at the level where I should be or have even the capacity to entertain another thing. But it's like, I want to. I feel like my wife is giving back every day by educating the future of our country. And I love that. And I'm jealous of that. She has such a crucial piece in developing people.
Yeah.
And I want to do more like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, then it will come back, not like you do it for something in return, but then people will say, you know what? I did see you were out and about. handing out lunches to this, or you were, timing for the 5K over there, doing for that, or, all those little things, and it can come back and
it really does. It does. And really, my husband and I started to get involved with Woodstock Arts a little at a time. Same thing in Woodstock, because we were going to YPOW every single week. And, Paige, of course, asked me, would you like to be on my board? Would you like to apply to be on my board? Because I've known her because of YPOW.
Sure.
And those are so fulfilling to me, just to be part of the arts community, the small business community that in Woodstock helps cultivate. And then for Paige, just helping her, help these young adults, I get so much joy.
She's doing great things over there.
Oh, yeah. And especially, having a whole bunch of neurodivergence in my family. My son is on the spectrum and ADHD, and my younger son is also ADHD. And so just kind of having a heart for that is, yeah. And but yeah, volunteering, it helps too. And it's not the reason that I do it, but it's, like you said, it's kind of being around, and people go, oh, it's the girl with the blue hair,
Hey, but instead of just that, they're saying, hey, it's the girl with the blue hair that is a beast at SEO.
Well, yeah.
Say more true things.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks.
Brain fart.
Yep.
That's okay. Ashley, there comes a time in every conversation I have with everybody where I ask them a handful of questions. Those questions I don't prepare them for.
Oh,
they're very...
like Brene Brown's flash question.
They can be rapid fire if we want them to be, or we can discuss them if it's some, there's a couple deep ones, but for the most part, they're very first date questions. You ready for them?
Yes.
What is your favorite movie?
Oh, gosh.
I'm excited for your answer based on the miscellaneous pop culture references you've dropped here and there in this conversation. I'm very excited.
Favorite movie. I think I would have to say, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I've never gotten that answer before. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Coen brothers.
Yeah, Coen brothers.
And also, the Odyssey and all of, I love that movie.
That's a great answer. I've not been hit with that one yet. That's good. What was your first ever job? Besides like babysitting, dog walking, dog sitting, stuff like that. First W-2 job you ever had?
I worked at a Sanrio store at North Point Mall.
How about that? Look at that.
Love Hello Kitty.
Ashley, if you found out tomorrow was your last day on Earth, tonight, what would your last meal be?
It would be pasta. And
every conversation I've had today, every podcast I've recorded today, they've all said
pasta. Yeah. Probably carbonara, like the spaghetti carbonara. I have eaten my way across Italy, and I will eat carbonara everywhere. So yeah, probably that.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. You get to organize your own music festival. You get to pick your 3 headliners. We're not talking about who are the best headliners for ticket sales or anything like that. We're putting on a music festival for you. Who are your 3 headliners?
Okay.
They could be alive or dead.
Okay. All right. Together or not together, I assume.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, Tori Amos, and Tool.
Great festival. That'd be a fun time.
I know. Tori and Maynard are friends, or at least they used to be. Tori loves Robert Plant. I actually have a Robert Plant tattoo, so I also love him. So yeah, those 3.
That's a great festival.
Yeah.
Dang. Woodstock summer concert series. I ain't got nothing on that.
Yeah.
Sheesh, they should hire you as their booking agent. On a day that you're not, which I know based on what you told me, on a day that you are not taking care of someone else's business, on a day that you're not taking care of someone else, what does self-care look like for you?
Reading. I am trying to read more. We have a beautiful new back that we built last year, reading on out there with a cup of coffee, watching my backyard birds, maybe taking a walk on the Noonday Creek Trail in downtown Woodstock, and then honestly having an IPA under the elm there. That's pretty awesome day.
That's awesome. Good answer.
Yeah.
What does success look like to you?
I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty close. It used to be a marketing director title and XYZ amount of money and blah, 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 blah. But I really think that, I've got it now. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. What is something that very little people know about you?
I had cataract surgery when I was 24.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So born with them. My youngest son has them too. So we'll get to go on that journey together.
You'll cross that bridge when you get to it. Yep.
But yeah, they said, we've never seen cataracts like yours, and which is always great to hear.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. And you're the youngest person that we've ever done this surgery on, because I was 24 years old. So, but things are more or less pretty good. So I hit that 40 threshold. So now I'm like, okay, I need my faraway glasses and I need my up close glasses.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. My faraway glasses and my up close glasses. That's awesome. What is something that no amount of money will get you to do?
My children love asking me these types of mean questions all the time. Eat a raw onion.
Really?
Yeah.
No amount of money?
I don't know. Dipped in ketchup. Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. See, no.
Yeah. My stomach just dropped.
I don't like ketchup and I hate raw onion.
So put the two together and you're talking about hell on earth.
Yeah. I mean, no, I really don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it would take a lot of zeros to be after those commas. And then lastly, your greatest fear in the world. What is it?
Not being kind. Being unkind. I don't ever want someone to see me as unkind, but also more so, I think, because when you're being a jerk, but just being unkind. And being the type of person where someone couldn't say, I know that I can go to Ashley regardless. It doesn't matter. Like I want to be a safe person.
I like that. And then not lastly, so every once in a while, Ashley, I take questions away from this list. I add to them, I workshop them, and I test new ones. And I'm going to test a new one.
Okay.
What would the title of your memoir be?
Gosh.
It's a thinker for sure.
It is.
So maybe then it wouldn't be a good question to ask. But that is a fun question to ask.
I love it because, of course I've thought about that.
Of course.
But
as a writer, you definitely thought about it.
I've definitely thought about it. But I wouldn't know whether to go, a little bit funny, a little bit quirky.
Sure. Just based on our hour-and-a-half conversation, there's no way it's not quirky.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It probably a little bit sarcastic.
Sure.
But also maybe something about birds. I love birds so much. I've always thought about something like with flight or
sure.
My blog for a long time was called Ashley Graceless because that Grace is my middle name, and I thought, well, I'm not graceful, so I'm graceless, and maybe something related to falling but getting back up.
Sure.
And again and again and again and again. There's the sarcasm again and again and again and again. But yeah, I don't.
Maybe that's it. Again and again and again.
So,
Ashley, tell the people how to find you, where to find you, what you do, and everything in between.
Okay. Well, I'm a digital marketing consultant for small businesses and solopreneurs. You can find me at ashleyvelez.com. It is a WordPress site, by the way. And I am on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I do have a Facebook business page now. And, you can see me certainly around about in Woodstock. Like I said, I'm very involved. So if you have questions about wanting to get involved in any of the organizations that I've mentioned, please reach out. I would love to chat with people because, there's always opportunities to get involved. If you need painting done, you can always call my husband and Three Brothers Painting. They would love to help you. And so.
And you know what's real fun about this is, when I was thinking about like having you plug on here, I was like, this is great because the lovely thing about marketing, and we talked about this earlier, is that everyone's got a different piece of the puzzle missing. One of the pieces that Ashley is really, really, really good at filling in is a piece that I don't have much experience in. So if you especially need help on the SEO side of things, that's not an avenue I've ever really crossed to try to learn. So if you're like, you know what, my socials are pretty good, I just don't know what the hell to do with my SEO, Ashley's your girl. That's the beautiful thing about marketing, is that there's so many different avenues of marketing that people need help with.
SEO is actually, it's
your staple.
I love doing it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So you guys, if you need Ashley's services, whether it's SEO or not or beyond, her stuff is going to be in the description of the episode, her website, so that you can get a quick way to contact her, to get her in touch for your marketing needs, whether it's SEO or website or social media or whatever it is. Ashley can be your person. Ashley, thank you so much for taking the time out of your Sunday. You could have been anywhere else. You could have been in that comfy chair, scheduling content out, but instead you decided to spend an hour and a half with me on the Sunday evening. So I appreciate that tremendously.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So guys, again, her stuff's in the description to get in touch with her if you want. My socials and websites for my own stuff is in the description as well. So if you need to get in contact with me, you can do that. Remember, follow along at Your Morning Drive on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, or all three. And then at Your Morning Drive for all of the social platforms as well. Thank you for tuning in to our marketing heavy conversation today. And we hope everybody has a great rest of their day. Take care, guys.